Hey, good morning, fellow anglers. Day 3 out here, Lake Natoma, bed fishing-orama. Today is, what are we on, May 2nd, and we've got some gorgeous weather. Here is our weather report today. It's pretty similar to the last few days that I've been out here fishing. I'm still working out some of the kinks on GoPro placement and audio. Some of the audio on the previous episodes was not great. I was testing out I had a remote external audio or mic on. It just wasn't working that great. I kept rubbing stuff on what I was wearing, and I was getting some weird noises in there, so the audio wasn't that great. I'm trying a new audio setup today. Little shotgun mic, another external, but keeping it off my body. It's got a wind sock on it, so we shouldn't get hardly any wind noise, if any. But I've launched over here at the aquatic center. I'm trying some coves down here towards the end of the lake today. Gonna kind of check this cove where you launch. You can park over at the park and ride and then walk your gear in. It's not very far. Parking is limited over there. It's only like 40 spots, so you'd have to get here kind of early in order to get a spot to come out here and enjoy the recreational activities. So I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing these last few times, which is search around for some bedfish here in these protected coves to see if I can't find another giant. I'm gonna walk you through what I'm doing, give you the POV look, and see if we can't put some more fish in the boat today. I think we will. Some of these coves are gonna be warm. There's hardly anybody. These aquatic centers are usually buzzing every weekend with people, other fellow paddlers, anglers, etc. But there's hardly anybody here, so I'm thinking these fish might be a little more comfortable and get back into this cove and do some spawning. So enough talking. I'm gonna start searching. Let's get on some fish and see what we can do today. Today's been absolutely brutal for bed fishing. It's so windy today. Almost damn near impossible to bed fish anywhere. I did find a pair over on this island over here. They wouldn't go though. They're only a couple pounds. I did go back in the cove. Didn't see a single bed fish back in there. I started way over on the other side of the lake and I saw some fish over there. It's just too windy. I can't stay on them. I got blown into this pocket over here, like I said, across from this one. There's one big one in here, and luckily the wind's blowing me right up on the bank right here, and I got a pretty good angle on it. So I'm gonna keep pitching in here, try to get him angry, and see if I can't get this one to go. But so far, what time is it? I haven't caught anything yet. It's just been absolutely brutal. 12:18, so I've been out here for 3 hours. I've seen some fish that I'm gonna come back to when the wind dies down. It should later on this week because it's supposed to warm up. So, all right, let me get back to throwing this big swim bait in here and trying to get this big one fired up and see if I can't get something in the boat today. All right, stay tuned. Okay. Today, I'm gonna count as a scouting day. I found 4 spots. Well, it's actually mainly 2 areas, but 4 beds that I'm gonna come back to tomorrow. Today is just not conducive to the style of fishing I'm trying to do. It's just too windy and I can't control the boat. I can't see them. This one pair over here, they're actually mating, so they're not interested in protecting. The big female I found at the very end as well is really skittish. She won't stay on the bed, and then I can't find her when she goes away from it. So I'm gonna have to come back out. I'm gonna come back out tomorrow. Hopefully, as the week goes on, the wind dies down. Because right now I can't see anything. I can't hold the paddle board in a good spot, and so I just can't stay on the fish. It's frustrating. So I'm gonna head back in. I am gonna check one little area from this morning back at the aquatic center where I saw a fish kind of cruising around in the shallows, possibly trying to make a bed today. But I've got so much more water to cover up here or down here towards the end of the lake. So I've got at least 3 or 4 more days out here to go to other areas that I want to fish, see if I can find some more spawners. But I found them, just couldn't get them today. So Anyways, as the days go on, I'm out here. I'm gonna show you what baits we're using. I'm also gonna give you some tips if you're coming out on a paddleboard. Now that I've had a few days on it, I think I've got it pretty much perfected, except for today. Don't do what I did, which is I left my water in the friggin' truck. So I've had no water out here for 3 hours. Luckily it's not that hot, but I'm gonna chug the whole thing when I get back to the truck. So I'm heading in. If I get on those fish at the aquatic center, you'll see this video start up again. Otherwise, you're gonna see it go to day 4. All right, see you then. A 10.5 foot paddleboard, but it's one of the wider ones, and it's a blow up paddleboard, so I can travel with it easier, and it doesn't take up that much room in my garage. So this one is a black fin. Who the heck makes this one? I think it's black. Shoot, I'll have to put the info up for you. It's the Model X. But it's the widest one they make, which is like 35 inches, I think. And it makes it for a little more stable. You're not going to go as fast on this, but it's the most stable one they make. And it's got what I liked about this one is this one's about 800 bucks. Is that it's got a lot of D-rings on it for different attachments. You can actually get a kayak seat for this, and it also comes with another paddle that goes on the end of this, and then you can actually turn this into a kayak. So if you don't feel comfortable standing up, you can actually, this could be a super cheap option getting on the water, whether you want to stand up paddle on it or you want to kayak on it. This model also has bungee cords on the front and the rear that are super handy. You can strap down coolers, shoes, extra clothes, any other gear you want to bring. I'm pretty minimalist when I'm coming out here fishing. I've only got 3 rods, and I strap those rods right down the middle of the paddleboard, and I put them underneath the bungee cord in the front. I don't put them in the back. It's kind of hard to get them out. If I tip, they're probably going to fall in. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I do have them strapped on the front, on the deck here. And I have it's not a small, it's not the extra large, but it's a Plano Guide Bag. It's the Kevin Van Dam model. I've had this one for quite a long time. Kind of a medium size, and it carries just the right amount of gear. I've got a couple Plano boxes of extra tackle for the day, some line. I got my pliers, I've got my weight, or my scale. I got snacks, I got water, I've got my GoPro camera gear in there. What else do I have in there? My glasses, some plastics. That's pretty much it. You're not going to need a whole lot more. You can probably put some sunscreen in there. Anything else, any of your keys, etc. I've got it, I can strap it down with the bungees, but I've opted to use a couple of carbiners, is that how you say that? And I've got it snapped and hooked to the bungees. The bungees, when they go over the top, it's hard for me to get into some of the pockets. So I've opted to just strap it via those little carbines. So if I tip over, that's not going anywhere. And I've got it all zipped up right now. So if I tip and the thing goes up, this paddleboard is upside down, none of my stuff is going to fall out. I might lose my rods. I have the rods down the middle of the paddleboard because of my foot placement. You got to have a wide stance on this, and so if I try to put the rods on the outside, I'd be stepping on them. So the rods go right down the middle. And on the front of the paddleboard, it's got a little sport mount. That's where I keep my GoPro. You can put actually, it's got a little Bluetooth speaker you can put on there. This model actually comes with a rod holder. So if you just wanted to bring one rod, you knew exactly what you were going to do that day, and you're only going to have one rod, you can actually have your rod sticking off the front. They've got a little rod holder that goes for this model as well. And I've liked it so far. It's super fun. It's a really cheap way, minimalist way to get out on the water. So I've gone from opposite extremes. I've had a $65,000 fully rigged Ranger bass boat. Now I've got an $800 fully rigged Model X Blackfin stand-up paddleboard. So I can say I've pretty much run the gamut. I've done it all, because I've also fished out of a little plastic Pelican boat. What else have I fished out of? I've never fished out of a kayak though. So that's my take on the stand-up paddleboard fishing. If you have any other questions, you can always ask me in the comments or hit me up on Instagram regarding my setup out here. And that's pretty much it. I'm on the other side of the lake. I'm going to try to sneak up on this fish this morning and see if I can't get some of these fish to go today, since yesterday was pretty tough battling the wind and I had some finicky fish and I didn't bring any water. I've got it today. So, all right. I'm going to start searching. This fish is up here a ways, a couple hundred yards. I'm going to try to sneak up on it. Let's see if we can't put some fish in the boat today. All right. Check in with you soon. Okay. I actually found a pair on the way over to that fish I found yesterday. It's actually 2 new beds over here from yesterday. These fish are constantly moving up throughout the day, overnight. This is the time they need to spawn. So you might be here one day and there'll be 0 beds, and then you come back the next day and there could be 2 or 3. These fish, they move quick and get these beds ready quick. So just because you don't see beds in an area that you think they're going to be, or maybe you see one and you kind of know that's where they're going to spawn, you got to keep checking those areas, because new fish are constantly moving up. And that's the case here. I got a pair sitting out there in about 6 feet of water on a bed right now that I'm going to try to get. I'm going to start throwing some stuff in there at them and see what we can do. Over here on this, I'm calling this the west side of the lake. So of course I'll show you where I'm at exactly. And conditions are so good this morning. This lake is glass, but it also means that it's going to get hot today. So when the temps go up out here, that usually means you're going to have 0 wind, and so it's going to be pretty hot. So all right, I'm going to get to work on these 2. Okay, let me give a quick status update here. As soon as I said that the conditions were perfect, the wind started blowing like within 30 seconds after that. And now the wind's blowing me right up against this bank. I cannot see them now. And I've been working on them for a minimum of 30 minutes, throwing this big swim bait in there, throwing my drop shot in there, throwing the baby swim bait in there, and I can't see them. I'm just trying to get them to start smacking stuff, and they just now, I'm starting to get them to bite this big swim bait. I've got them just mad enough, and I'm just blind casting. I can't see them. I know where the bed is. Oh, that time they actually picked the swim bait up and ran off with it. I can't actually see them at all in there. I have to basically just toss to where I think the bed is. I can kind of see a little bit of the bed. When the wind dies down just a hair, because it's clean down, there's a couple white rocks. I just had one of the fish finally pick up my swim bait, the big one, and take off with it. I'm gonna throw the little one in there and see if I can't get him on this cast right here. Somebody in there is finally mad. I got him. Oh, shoot. Dang it, I had him. Crap. I set the hook, he just must have had the tail. I see him right there now. He's not going to go back in there for a minute. I'm going to have to wait. I don't know if I stuck him. There's 2 in there, so I might be able to get the other one. But that one was that was a nice size one. Shoot, I had my chance. He never got the hook in his mouth, I don't think. Start this process all over again. They usually will circle right back around and get back on their bed if they didn't get stuck. Let's see if he's super mad. got him that time. I got him that time. Got him. Oh! No, don't go on the trees, Not very big, but it was cool because I couldn't see him. Just had to be persistent on it. I'm trying to get down here and not fall in. Okay. Come here. All right, a nice little largie. There it is. That one took me a good, 30 minutes of trying to get that guy to bite. So that was a fun one. Okay. So I still haven't gotten to that area yesterday where I ended my day. I'm straight across from it, and this big flat, I know there's fish over here because last year, if you watched my Lake Natoma fishing video, I found this big flat over here that had a lot of weeds and caught a bunch of fish on this side of the lake. So I was just kind of cruising around through here through some of these backwaters, and I saw some fish starting to move up, and a small one on a bed, and I've got a couple over here. I can't tell if it's just cruising around or if there's a dark spot over here where I think it may have made a bed or it's protecting this area. I'm gonna throw a few casts in here, but there are definitely fish on this side starting to move up. I saw groups of some really big females just cruising around as well. So this lake, because it's so cold, the spawn is way later, and I haven't seen really any old beds, and they're all new. So this could be the first wave coming through. So this is going to last at least a few more weeks if the weather stays warm. So I'm going to try to see if I can't get this one. It's cruising around. I can't pinpoint it just yet. See if I can't get it in the boat. All right, stay tuned. Oh, it came right onto it. I mean, I just threw it blindly over where I thought the bed was. She came from like 4 feet away to come get it. She's right there. Oh yeah, she's a nice size. She's not huge. It's like a 2.5, 3 pounder. But man, yeah, they were protecting this area. I mean, as soon as I threw it in there, she made a beeline for it. She did not like that sitting there at all. I gotta get down so I don't fall in. Okay. I'll hook her right on top of the mouth. This is a good spot. Come here. Oh yeah, all right. She's like 3 pounds. That's a nice one. I came in here, spooked her, and she was just cruising around, and I saw her circle around, so I knew she was guarding something. I just couldn't really tell where the bed was. It wasn't very distinct. It's like dark. Look at that one. That's a nice one. All right. We're gonna move on, see if we can't catch some more. So I'm back, searching around on the paddleboard on this, I think we're still calling this the west side of the lake. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you about that fish. There's a lesson to be learned there. Also, there's other fish cruising around up here in the shallows. Some smaller ones, I don't even want to mess with them. I'm looking for some bigger ones now. We've got the small guy pattern down. I'm looking for a big female mated up with a male somewhere. But when you come up on these fish and you spook them, just stop, get a little bit of a distance away where you can still see them and watch their behavior. See what they do. That one, I took about 5 minutes, changed the battery in a GoPro, and then I just sat back and watched. And I noticed she wasn't leaving. She kept cruising around. She was agitated. I could tell that there was something, like there was a bed near, or she was protecting something. I just had to wait and see, and then pitch to what I thought was the bed, because there was a small male cruising around with her. Just sit there and watch their behavior, and then you can try to figure out if they're going to stick around, or if they just plain up just leave and vacate, then you know they're just probably up searching. They're not actually on a bed yet. So then I threw into, like I said, what I thought was the bed, which was this dark area, because it was the only area that looked different than the surrounding rocks. And once I threw it in there, I mean, it took her like a second or two. She came in from a far distance away and grabbed it so fast. So anyways, the other key was there's deep water nearby this spawning flat. So they can come up from their winter haunts and they don't have to travel very far. So that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for shallow flats with rocks that's adjacent to that deep water that they can go and hide into. Well, I just spooked a big one right there. I don't know what she was doing. All right, I'm gonna get back to fishing. Okay, here's the deal. I'm back over here by this little island where I saw these fish yesterday and I couldn't get, it was too windy. It's still a little bit windy in here, but I can actually see them today. There's a pretty big one on the bed. So I'm gonna start working this one. Get myself all the way up on the shore here. Start working this one and see if I can't get one of these to go. I really want that one that's on the bed because that looks like that's the biggest one. All right, stay tuned. Got her. I got her. Oh, it's the first cast. Oh, she threw it. Oh, yeah, no. She came and jumped up pretty darn big. Well, she went right back on there. Maybe I can still get her. I got to reposition everything now. I'm way off the spot. She's back on the bed. I stuck her pretty good. It's gonna be a miracle if she eats this again. She might be super hot. I mean, she's mad. She ate that thing first cast. All right, we're going back in at her, see what happens. I got her that time again. Oh no. Got her. Oh shit, she came off again. You kidding me? Oh my gosh, that's twice. Now I gotta reposition again. She put me way off my spot. Well, the wind's picked back up a little bit again. These fish are still swimming around. She keeps coming in a little bit here and there. Actually, the two males are corralling her back. I've been throwing that big swim bait on and just leaving it on there, and they kind of come keep looking at it. And that female's still a little skittish. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hook her again. I probably can catch the males, who are both about 2.5 pounds. She was probably closer to 4, but the wind's picked up. It was dead calm when I first got here, and now it's got a ripple on there, so I can't see very well. I'm going to keep trying, though. Okay, well, she hasn't been back. I had her twice. It was operator error, especially the first one. I let her jump out of the water instead of keeping my rod tip down. And as soon as her head came up, she threw the bait. And then she was still mad enough that when I threw it in there again, I had her. I don't know if the hook set was wrong or I just got a piece of her mouth and or maybe she didn't even have it in her mouth. I don't know. But that was twice, and there's no way. She hasn't been back for a good 10-15 minutes. The males are still kind of cruising around, but they're not protecting anything. I can probably come back here tomorrow and see if she's back on here. Hopefully, maybe she's forgotten about me trying to catch her. But there's another pair over by this island. They're not as big. I'll cruise over there and take a look. And my GoPro batteries are almost all done for the day, and so I'll start heading back in and give us a wrap up then. All right, stay tuned. I'm gonna go try to catch these on the other side. All right, so I went across the way to that little island to check on that pair of fish, but they were pretty small, so I decided to get out of there and start heading in since my GoPro batteries are going to be dying soon, and I got a good 10 to 15 minute paddle to get back, and I'll just kind of look at this shoreline as I go back to see if there are possibly any spawners on the way in that I can catch. Otherwise, pretty good day. Caught some fish, lost a nice one, found some more fish on beds. Found some more areas that are holding fish right now. One takeaway is that all these fish that are coming up to spawn, those will be the same areas that they go down for the summer and stay down there to do their feeding and hang out in the hotter months that are coming. So take note of where those fish are, and then we'll come back out and try some summer tactics later on this year in those same areas. Those fish should be there. They're not going to go very far from where they're spawning. It's pretty much where they live. So, all right, I think I'm going to come out here one more day. There's some backwaters over there that I want to go check out, and maybe possibly try to come back out and catch that one that I lost. I might take the day off though and come back out here on Thursday. It's supposed to be warmer, which means I won't have the wind blowing as hard. So if I can get this wind just to die down, I'm able to see so deep and see the beds from a longer distance. It makes bed fishing a lot easier because you can stay further away from them and not spook them. So I like to be as far away as possible from the beds when I'm fishing them and still maintain contact to watch their behavior. So, all right, one more day. Talk to you then.